Hi, within this lecture, we're going to cover the details of these steps that we have seen in the previous lecture. So let's go into reconnaissance. In reconnaissance, you try to gather information passively. So at this point, you don't alert the system administrator. You use some methods and you go under the radar and you can use open source research. For example, following the next section, we're going to focus on website penetration testings. And suppose that you're targeting a website, and if you try to find what kind of technologies that this website is using or who registered that website, then you can do some passive information gathering. The administrator of that website wouldn't even know that you're gathering that data. And you can, of course, integrate these results into your attack strategy. And in the next step, you're going to do active scanning. For example, you can use Nmap to find out about the open ports of that particular website. So you have seen how to use Nmap, right? And there is another tool called Nessus, and you can use that Nessus with Nmap as well. Nessus is a professional tool, and you have to pay a good amount of money in order to use that tool in full feature. But Nmap is a free tool, and you can get the open ports and the version names and other vulnerabilities and other brief descriptions in Nmap as well. So this is clearly above the radar, and if you're going to use something like intense scan, then there is a high chance that administrator will know something is going on in this case. Next, you have to find some vulnerabilities with using that scan results. So you can analyze the scan results and you can search for possible vulnerabilities, and you can use Rapid7 or exploitdb.com in order to do that. So you have to pay attention to details, operating system versions, fixes, patches, and everything. And this is no different than what we have done in the system penetration testing section. So remember, we have used Nmap, then we search online for some specific versions, and we have used Rapid7 database in order to understand how we can leverage that weaknesses. And in the next step, we're going to gain access. So before, we have used those vulnerabilities and we have used exploits related to those vulnerabilities in order to gain access. So you can use tools like Metasploit in this case in order to open a session and interact with this hacked computer, target computer, or target website, or some other device, and you can try to gather information regarding to folders, files, sensitive information, and you can try to browse into those files, upload some files, download some files, and so on. And after that, you have to maintain your access. So this is what we did in the post-connection, post-hacking section. Remember, we have used Meterpreter in order to sustain the session, and we have used migration to hide, to bury our current process into other running processes. So this is what you do only after you gain access to the target system. And of course, all these steps will lead to the reporting. So especially if you're working for a company that does penetration testing, you will have to report everything that you do in your penetration tests for your client, for the official security officers of that client. And in order to do that, you have to prepare a summary and a detailed explanation, and you have to present your report. Before you do that, you might want to delete the logs, but it isn't necessary in every case. Maybe it is in your contract, so you know what to do. And if you want to delete the logs, you can use meet repeater sessions and other tools as well. After you complete all the steps, now you manage to complete a whole penetration testing. So this is the framework. These are the steps that hackers actually follow during these penetration testings. And I know this is purely theoretical, but if you're going to go into a cybersecurity career, or if you're going after a certification like Certified Ethical Hacker, then you will need to know all about these steps. So I'm going to stop here, and following the next section, we're going to focus on website penetration testings.